So if you're a boondocking veteran or you're just wondering if boondocking is safe, we're going to give you some tips and tricks today that are just going to help you be more comfortable out here in boondocking situations to keep you safe. So let's get right into the 18 tips and tricks to help you feel comfortable out here boondocking. To us, boondocking is safe. We've had no issues with it before, but some of these scenarios we discuss may make you feel a little uncomfortable, but just know we haven't had a problem. All right, so our first tip is, I know you might like that sign that you have outside your camper saying your family name, but you might want to chuck that out, because if somebody knows your name and your license plate number, they can get a lot of information about you. And if somebody was to come up, a smarter thief or a smarter person, and they use that information to gain access to you, saying a sister's name or a relative who are in trouble to get into your camper, it may disarm you. So you might want to throw those ones out. So our family spends a lot of time overseas, and we'll stay at a location for a week, sometimes up to a month in just one location. And what we've learned is people who are sketchy tend to figure out where you're at. They start learning your routines, and we've learned from that to kind of move around a little more often. And that's what I'm going to suggest for boondocking as well. If you find a location that you don't feel completely comfortable with, every 2 or 3 days, just make sure you move your campsite around so people don't learn your routines and start figuring out where you're going to be. As with any public campground, you're going to want to get to know your boondocking neighbors. Even if they're a quarter mile away or a mile away, it's just good to know people are watching out for your back. So you might hear that waterfall in the background. We're getting close, but I want to show you my car key. So most car keys have a panic key on it now. I would highly suggest sleeping with this next to you. If you're out in the boonies, you can push this panic button if you realize somebody is out in your campsite. Yes, honking horns and flashing lights isn't going to completely scare someone away, but it probably will buy you enough time to get out of your trailer and into your car so you can take off. So speaking of getting out of your trailer, one thing that you need to remember is if you're in an area that you're not completely comfortable with, make sure you keep your trailer attached to your tow vehicle. Keep your awnings up, keep everything ready to go, because if you need to get out of there, if it's an emergency situation, you don't want to be having to hook up that trailer before taking off. So all of you know we love small camper trailers. That's what this channel is about. But if you're a solo traveler and getting out of your trailer makes you uncomfortable, we would suggest looking at a truck camper or a van or even a small RV, because that way you can go from your bedding area straight to the driver's seat of your vehicle without going outside. Now, let's just talk about the tips for those of us who are in travel trailers and how we can protect ourselves when we are stationary. One of the easiest things you can do to stay connected and feel less isolated is bring your cell phone with you. Now, many of the boondocking sites are not going to have cell phone coverage, so the easy tip is to just find one that does. Keep your cell phone out as you're looking for your site and make sure you're staying within cell phone range. If you are in a location that doesn't have cell phone service, still keep that cell phone next to your bed. That way you can push the numbers, pretend you're dialing 911 if somebody is really close and you feel they're listening in on you. So if you're not going to be in a place with cellular service, we suggest GPS messaging devices like the Spot Messenger. So when it comes to the Spot Messenger, we've heard a bit of mixed reviews. Basically, the complaints are about how long it takes for it to transmit a message. It's not always instant depending on where you're at. But most people seem to like them pretty well. We've noticed throughout the year there's 50% off sales on the Messenger, so just wait around and you'll get it half the price. So there's other messaging devices out there that use the GPS signal. other than the spot messenger, and they're a little higher quality and a little smaller. One of the ones that are popular right now is the Bivy stick, and it's like this large. It's also a GPS communication device, but this one attaches to your cell phone so you can send communications between you and your family through your cell phone. It's a monthly plan. You can cancel at any time, it looks like, and it's about $17 a month. So I'll link in the description below to both the Bivy and to the spot messenger. So here's a tip we hear a lot on forums, and that's about if you're traveling by yourself, how to look like someone else is with you. And what they suggest is just taking 2 pairs of shoes and setting them outside your trailer as you sleep at night. And yeah, they usually say bring a large man shoe.
How about these? Look at that! So, what size is that?
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
A size 20.
I think any shoe, as long as there's 2 pairs, is going to tell somebody at least that you're not alone. Another one I really like, they talked about bringing a foldable dog kennel, a extra large dog kennel. Put it out underneath your awning or put it right in front of your camper at night so that when somebody comes up and approaches you, it's just saying there's a dog here ready to get you. So speaking of dogs, you might as well just bring your own dog. A lot of people bring dogs out with them RVing, and that's a great way to feel a little more secure. So another thing you can do is just join a boondocking club. Boondocking clubs are all over the internet, and it's for people like you who are looking for a little more safety in numbers. Being as we're from Alaska, we carry bear spray with us pretty much everywhere we go. When we're camping, we bring out 2 of these canisters just so we have them in multiple places and with multiple people. When I'm sleeping at night, one of these is right next to me. We've heard in forums that some countries don't allow bear spray to be used on humans. Kind of an interesting fact. We've also heard that these can be taken away from you at border crossings. So looking into it a little deeper, the thing we found that people use as an alternative that isn't taken away is a bottle, spray bottle, full of chlorine. So we think of motion detectors for houses, but not often for RVs. But if you look through the forums, there's a lot of people using battery-operated motion detection sensors that set off some sort of horn, some sort of lights to catch people's attention. And it should be enough to just give you a little bit of time to at least know somebody's coming. All right, another tip for you is those stickers or signs outside of your vehicle that suggest you're a full-time RVer. I know we love those stickers, especially those ones that show we went to all 50 states, and I know how hard it'd be if you had 47 of them to take them down. But if you are known as a full-time RVer, I'm pretty sure a thief is going to see you as more valuable than somebody who just rented a camper for a weekend. So if you have a 1-800-RV here and a full-timer here and you're a thief, which one are you going to go to find valuables? Speaking of stickers, one thing you can do to prevent people from bothering you out on your boondocking site is putting a sticker that suggests you carry. Now we've heard in forums that an NRA sticker or a Smith & Wesson sticker may not go well if you're doing a border crossing, but what we have heard is a good idea is a Ducks Unlimited sticker. People say if you put that up, people are going to get the assumption that there may be something in there, but it doesn't just scream, come and check me, I have an arsenal of guns. Now, a sticker that does suggest you carry may suggest to thieves that you do have valuables in there, so come and steal these guns away. So there's 2 sides to every argument, right? So the first thing we do when we pull into a boondocking site is we just take a lay of the land, looking around basically for wild activity. Are there alcohol bottles strewn around, especially cheap alcohol? Is there trash everywhere? Can you see signs of reckless driving and partying? If that is the case, I'd suggest just finding another site. If you are stuck in that site and there's no other options, just be a little more on guard that night. So trust your gut. I'd say that's my #1 tip for you. We've been in many situations where things just didn't feel quite right for us. And we just took off. It's better to take off, trust your gut, than to sit around and wait to see if something could potentially happen. So as usual, leave some tips below. These are just the ones we know. I know you have a lot more that you can share with the community. Thank you. Thank you. Did I just leave a message?